beautiful wholesalers out there, you just locked up a deal. Congratulations, you did it. You got the seller to sign the contract. You are ready. You've got buyers just clamoring for this deal. It is just so hot. You've got it and you've got it locked up and you've got buyers ready to pay you for this deal. But then something happens, and this is very common that happens when people are first starting in this business. All of a sudden, this beautiful deal, this beautiful sandcastle that you have on the beach is getting just wiped away. It's falling apart when you are in escrow. I'm going to show you the top tips, the things that you need to do, the things that you need to be aware of so that you can get this deal closed. Check this out. It is Brent Daniels, and let's start with this. I get this question a lot, and I don't think it's a naive question, but I think it's an important question to answer. People ask me, what is escrow? Now, if you're very experienced in real estate, I get it. You feel like, oh, that's a newbie question, but let's answer it real quick. Escrow is the time period between when you sign a contract to when it closes. Now, during this time, it is absolutely critical to keep this deal moving towards the goal line, moving towards the closing. I see deals fall apart all the time, either if it's from the seller side or from your cash buyer side. So I'm going to give you some tips to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. Number one, when you are sitting down with the seller or you're having a conversation with them about the contract and they're signing and you're getting everything signed up, maybe you're at the kitchen table, maybe you're on the phone, whatever it is, you need to make sure right then and there that you set a time to get access to the property. If you're gonna, listen, if you wanna hold this for yourself or if you wanna flip it or whatever you wanna do, it's still set this up front. This is so critical. This is something that I hammer into my acquisition managers all the time. We need to have a scheduled time when we can get access to the property. Now, if it's vacant, the best thing to do is ask permission to put on a contractor's lockbox. Now, you can get one of those online at Amazon. Just Google it. You can get a whole box of them, or you can go to, whatever hardware store is close. But put a lockbox on it, get access. That's the best. Now, if people are living in there or there's tenants, especially, listen to me, you need to set time right now to get access to the property, because a really, really motivated cash buyer is going to want to see that property. Or if you're going to go with the strategy of bringing all your cash buyers there at the same time to create a bidding war, you need to make sure that the seller knows that it's going to happen, the tenants know it's going to happen. I see this all the time. People try to last minute call the seller up and say, hey, we need to get in there tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and they can't do it. That shuts down the momentum of getting this deal closed, getting it from the signed contract to the closing table where you get paid. So number one, make sure you schedule a time. Typically what I like to do with my company is 3 days after we sign the contract. That gives us enough time to upload all of the marketing material for our wholesale. That gives us time to get the pictures all organized, right? And it gives us time to get it out to our cash buyer database so that they have time to pick it apart and make a decision on it. Now, once you get really good at selling your properties, people will buy these sight unseen, but typically they'll want to get in there. They'll sign the agreement, but with the stipulation that they want to see the property. So set it up beforehand. Don't wait till last minute and get everything all clogged up, because it distracts you from making more calls. It distracts you from having more quality conversations with distressed property owners. That's the biggest issue here. What happens is you get this deal and you want to baby this deal, you want to keep this deal, you want to make sure you get paid, and all of a sudden you stop the momentum. You stop bringing in new leads because you don't make your calls because you're so concerned about this deal. That's not what the superstars do. Okay? Superstars keep the machine running at all times. Take this advice. Number two, listen to me. One of the most important people in your wholesaling business is your escrow officer, is your closing attorney. Listen to me. These people organize everything. These people should be all all over the seller instantly. Make sure you get the contact information for the seller over to title, and you open up escrow immediately. If you have earnest deposit in your contract, deposit the earnest immediately. Get the ball rolling. The sooner you can get your title company closing attorney involved in speaking with the seller, the quicker it's going to be for them to get the information they need to complete the transaction. Typically, they have to get an identity statement. They have to make sure that the seller is who the seller is. They make sure that they see if there's any judgments on the seller or anything that would stop the transaction from going through, anything goofy popping up. Listen to me. If you build a relationship with a rock star title escrow officer or closing attorney, your life is going to be so much better. They are going to organize everything with the seller. They're going to organize everything with the buyer. It frees you up to do what you do best, which is talking to people, right? So make sure you find somebody that is rock solid. I don't care. You go to every meetup, you go or every Facebook group, you find out who is the top of the top of the top, and you work with them. Number one factor with those people is their speed at communicating with the seller and cash buyer. Number two is their speed of communicating with you. They should not be ghosting you. They should be taking your calls or calling you right back or having their assistants do it. Demand that. Sit down with them. Let them know how important they are. Listen, title companies, closing attorneys make so much ridiculous money. They make so much ridiculous money. They want you to bring them escrows. So you are important to them. So sit down with them and explain the relationship that you want to have with these people. It is critical. Number three. When you get a cash buyer that wants your deal, they need to deposit $5,000 non-refundable immediately. Like, they have to get it within a reasonable, listen, if they're not able to drop it off in title in the next 20 minutes, I get it. But by 10 a.m. the next day, if it's not in there, you don't have a cash buyer. I'm telling you, you don't have a cash buyer. You have somebody that wants to lock up your deal and try to sell your deal to somebody else because they have no intention of closing on it themselves. They have to put skin in the game. I see this over and over and over again. People don't require the earnest deposit to be deposited by 10 a.m. the next day. All of a sudden, they think they have their property sold and it evaporates. Now they're telling all their other buyers that they didn't get the deal, and those buyers are pissed off. Right? Or they're disappointed. Let's say that. They're disappointed if you handle it right. If you have that likable and certain tone to your voice, you can make it so they're disappointed and not mad at you, that they know that there's going to be more deals coming if they keep a good relationship with you. But then you don't have to go back to them with your tail between your legs because what you thought you did is sell the property, but you actually didn't. Okay? So make sure they put skin in the game. You do not have that locked up until they put that $5,000 earnest deposit in with your title company or your closing attorney. Number four, listen to me. This is the biggest mistake I see wholesalers make. I don't care if they've been experienced and they've done thousands of deals or if this is their first deal. They don't communicate weekly with the seller. You need to communicate. It takes 30 seconds. Call them up. Leave a message if they don't answer. Text them. Let them know that everything's going smooth. Everything's going great. Do they have any questions? Do they have anything that you can help out with? And leave it at that. That's it. Communicate. Because what happens is if they start ghosting you or not returning you or all of a sudden the people that would answer their phone or text you back immediately aren't, maybe something's going on. Maybe somebody's whispering in their ear about this deal. Maybe somebody's saying, hey, I can get you more. Maybe people are saying you're stupid for taking that deal. Whatever it is, these things happen. You need to be aware if it's happening so that you can take the measures that you need to bring them back into the transaction because they're committed. They are committed on a contract, right? And you want to make sure that they know that you're communicating effectively with them so that they feel good moving forward, getting the process done, and getting it closed. Every week, listen to me, don't go a week without calling them. If they don't answer, leave them a message and text them. Got it? Next. Write this down, seriously. Time kills all deals. Time kills all deals. If there's a situation where a seller needs a long period of time to close, it makes that whole transaction a whole lot tougher, whole lot hairier. You want to shorten this down with what's called a post-possession agreement. Look it up, Google it. You could probably get the document that you need. I usually just write it, the terms in a Word document. Post-possession agreement. That means if the seller lives in the property or if they have a tenant in the property, you close the deal and you put terms on it post-possession. Now the new buyer or you owns the property, and now you have almost like a lease with the former owner or with the tenants. So if they need, oh, my tenant needs 60 days to get out of there. Okay, what if I can get your money in 3 weeks and we can keep them in for those 60 days? That would be better for you, right? Right. Okay, close that deal faster. Post-possession agreement. The tenant stays in the property for a certain amount of time and then they get out. Now, is it a little bit tougher to sell it to your cash buyer? Sure. If it's a smoking deal, it doesn't matter. We do it all the time. Shorten the timeline. Shorten the timeline. Shorten. I can't move. I need 45 days because I need help. I don't have any help to move. I will rent you a moving van. I will rent you movers to move you out. For $400 or $500, it's worth it to close a deal 6 weeks earlier. I am telling you, time kills all deals. Shorten the timeline. Be the answer, especially on big deals. On big deals, you want to close that like tomorrow, for real. Do not let the escrow go too long. Things will get really, really shaky, and and then all of a sudden you got a whole other set of problems. All of a sudden you're so distracted, you're so distraught, your emotions are going all over the place that you're not making your calls, you're not talking to people, and it slows down the machine. Next, 3 days before you're set to close on this deal, make sure you talk to the title company. Make sure the title company has all the documents they need from the seller. Make sure that they're communicating with the buyer. A lot of cash buyers are getting private money loans or hard money loans. Make sure they're already communicating with whoever they're getting the loans from, because I'm telling you, the biggest thing that pushes back the close of escrow date is the cash buyer not organizing their funds. Now, if they don't just have it in their account and they're getting funds from a private money or hard money lender, title needs to be talking to them 3 days before close. If they're not, you call the buyer and say, hey, you need to get on this. We're closing in 3 days. We cannot push this closing date back. I need you to get on there and be a professional and get your loan set up, get your financing set up so that we can close this on time. I want to sell you a bunch of deals. I want you to make a bunch of money, but I need to know that you can close on time because the seller's ready. I don't want them angry. I want them to move out nice and smooth, or to just go to the title company and sign the deed and get ready and be done with it. But I need you to bring in your funds. Okay? 3 days before, make sure title has everything. They're communicating with everybody and see if there's any red flags. Got it? Last, schedule with your seller. If it's not vacant, if you don't have a lockbox on it, schedule with your seller a final walkthrough a day or two before, just in case. Now, the buyer may never want to do a final walkthrough, but from the time they've seen it to the time it closes, it could have been a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks. What if somebody went in there and started a fire? What if moving out, the tenant decided to pour concrete down every toilet? What if somebody decided to just beat the hell out of the walls and drywall with their fists? Who knows? There's a lot of different things. Maybe somebody stole the air conditioner unit or the pool equipment or whatever. Make sure you set a final walkthrough so that when it closes, your buyer doesn't go, hey, Brent, dude, like everything is torn out of this property. You didn't tell me about that. I'm going to sue you, right? This is good. This happens if you don't do a final walkthrough. There's your list. Make sure, listen, you guys are out there. I see your comments. I'm responding to your comments. I see what you're doing. You guys are getting deals. Make sure you use these tips to make it smooth. I don't want you focusing on your efforts on the escrow period. I want you out there hunting for bigger, massive deals. The best way to do that, implement these tips right now, and it'll save you so much time, so much headache, and you're going to really take off because all of a sudden you're going to be consistently closing more deals. Got it? And when you close more deals and you've got a budget, you need to join the TTP program at wholesalinginc.com/TTP. Check it out. Scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll because there's a ton of testimonials. Check it out if it feels right in your gut. Sign up for a call right now. It'll be the best call of your year. If you need any resources for your wholesaling business, check out the links below. Everything is in here. The best of the best of the best. You know I bring it to you raw. You know I bring it to you real. The best resources are down below this video. Check them out. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Press the little bell so that you can get alert when new videos. 3 videos every single week. I'll see you next time. Love you. See ya.